This video is going to cover page 1 of your Unit 3 matter packet. Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about 2 types of compounds that are found in all living organisms that living organisms rely on for life. Okay, there's 2 types. Every compound is going to either be organic or inorganic. Notice the in front of the word. In before words means not. So they're either going to be organic or not organic. Okay. Let's start with the not organic ones first because they're pretty simple. Not organic molecules are quite simple and small. They're not chains, and they do not have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in them all at the same time. They might have carbon, they might have hydrogen, they might even have carbon and hydrogen, but they won't have all 3. Okay, so some examples of this could be like H2O. Notice that 2 should be a subscript. I'm just not going to put that in there. It takes a lot of time to get all that typing down. Okay, so that would be water. Water has hydrogen and oxygen, but it does not have carbon. Another one could be CO2, which is carbon dioxide. It has carbon and oxygen, but it does not have hydrogen. You could also do something like oxygen. That would be missing 2 of them. It has the oxygen, but it's missing the carbon and the hydrogen. And a final possibility that you could put here could be something as simple as NaCl, which is table salt. That is missing all 3, so it's clearly inorganic or not organic. Okay, so basically anything inorganic means it's not organic. It does not have CH and O in it in its formula, and it's usually a simple molecule. On the other hand, organic compounds are repeating chains of smaller molecules, so they're more complicated. They have, like in this case, we have a carbohydrate, which is glucose chained up together. So glucose, 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 glucose is giving us this carbohydrate when it's chained. When it's not chained, you just get the pieces of glucose. Okay? Something about organic compounds that you can use to remember them is they do always have the 3 elements. So they're always going to have carbon. They're always going to have, what's happening? Hydrogen. Sorry about that. And they're always going to have oxygen. So they're always going to have all 3 of those together. Okay. So organic compounds, unlike their counterparts, that not organic or inorganic ones, will always have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and they'll always be in chains and like a complex organism, or I'm sorry, complex molecule. So a way that you can remember this is, instead of thinking of them as organic compounds, if you think of them as chorganic compounds. So CHO at the beginning, just in your mind, don't write that down on the paper, okay? But if you think of them as organic or chorganic, the CHO at the beginning can remind you that they have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and the CH can remind you that they're a chain of something repeated over and over again, okay? So that's a way to remember the organic molecules, that they're a chain of CHO is kind of how I like to think of it, okay? And the CHO organic can help you remember that. There are 4 main categories of these, and oftentimes they don't give you the formulas because the formulas are very complex and can be varied depending on the types of these you have. So you have to kind of remember their actual name of the main category. So the main categories of organic compounds include the one in the picture above, carbohydrates, okay? That will be things like that's made up of glucose, okay? And we'll talk more about that on the next page, okay? Another one would be proteins. We mentioned those before. There's lots of examples of proteins. We'll talk more about them on the next page. And the next one would be lipids, sometimes thought of as fats, okay? Those are also organic. And finally, we have nucleic acids. Okay, those would be things like DNA for nucleic acid and RNA. Okay, so this is just a basic overview of inorganic and organic compounds. Please use this to answer the questions and complete your notes on page 1.